What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick over here at Project Central, and today I'm going to give you a few last minute shopping tips for that gearhead in your life, coming from a gearhead. So let's dig into it. First up on this list is going to be merch and clothing items. Shirts, hats, hoodies, all that stuff. I'm wearing one right now from one of my buddies over at Hired Gun Off-Road. I got this from him a few years ago, and I've loved this hoodie. You can also find some really fun stuff on Amazon, like this Legalized Burnouts shirt. I got this for my trip to DC. I went and did some political activism in front of the White House. There's a ton of YouTubers that have merch items. Cletus, Finnegan, Vice Grip, Tony Angelo, all the big names, and a lot of the small names also have merch. Maybe find out who your mechanic or your gearhead you're buying for. Find out which ones they're really into, and check out the merch items in those for those channels. Next up, on that same vein, is going to be memberships and Patreon exclusive content. I know a bunch of people who put out content have some stuff behind a paywall, and if you've got a gearhead who's really into a creator, maybe a year Patreon for somebody to go get some behind the scenes stuff is a really good gift idea. And you can get that at any time. You don't have to wait on shipping. Alright, so next up, if your gearhead is like me and they make a bunch of questionable decisions with the vehicles that they own and drive, they're always going to need some sort of roadside kit. And this item on the list is going to be maybe helping them get started in a dedicated roadside / portable tool case. For me, I use an old Milwaukee tool bag, and I've got some cool organization items inside of it. First up is going to be this 4-pocket organizer pouch. I keep a bunch of the really small stuff and like extra gloves and stuff up here, and I keep sockets in the middle too, standard and metric. Down here in this bottom case I keep like ratchets and pliers and screwdrivers and stuff. So this 4-pocket tool roll has been pretty cool. Digging down deeper in the tool bag, you get to the tool rolls. I like these a lot because I keep all of my wrenches in here. And they're very organized so that whenever I'm out, either at the junkyard or on the side of the road or helping a buddy out, these wrenches, I know exactly where they're at and they stay nice and organized. Both styles of tool roll I'll link down in the description along with everything else that I mentioned. And your tool bag doesn't have to be fancy. This is an old Milwaukee one from when I bought a drill a while back, but Harbor Freight does sell a very similar bag for I think this is from Bauer Tools. Or there's also the good old trusty just plastic toolbox. Pretty handy to have laying around because you never know when you're going to need to throw some tools together to help a friend or you're stranded on the side of the road, right? They also make things like tool backpacks that are great if you've got some tools, but also if you've got maybe electronics or camera gear, if you're to need a little bit added protection for that. So that's also a good idea, and they sell those too. I need to pick some of those up. So next up on the list is going to be this tire plugger kit. This is the stop and go tire kit, and I've had this thing for years and I love it. Instead of the crappy repair strips that never seal, never work, this thing uses a gun, like a push rod gun, and these mushroom shaped repair pieces. It's a really simple kit. All you got to do is ream the hole out a little bit, use another tool. This screws onto it. You push this into the tire, and it seals from the inside and does a much better job. I've had to use this on the side of the road to get home, and it is way better. I have never gotten these to work very successfully, so I invested in this. And if you've got a gearhead that drives a lot or gets flat tires and you want them to get home safely, this is a lot better solution, and it's really not that expensive. Next up is going to be tools, right? Obviously, if you got a gearhead, your tools are always a go-to gift. My number one recommendation is the cordless Impact. It's kind of a big purchase, so maybe this is their big gift for the year if they don't already have one. These are great because they're really good for taking tires off, like this. I am pretty partial to this Milwaukee half-inch cordless impact because I bought this and the 12-volt cordless ratchet in a set a few Black Fridays ago, and this thing has been amazing. Like I said, great for roadside stuff, great for around the garage, and there's a lot of different companies that make these. This is the regular version, I'm going to say. It's not the super mega impact torque one, but it does great for around the garage and stuff. I know Harbor Freight makes this, a couple different versions of these between the Bauer and the Hercules, DeWalt, Milwaukee like this one, Cobalt. Basically any cordless battery system you've got, you could find one of these. So these are amazing and a definite recommend for me for the gearhead in your life. But any sort of regular hand tools are great. I picked up a couple socket sets from Harbor Freight a while back. I can't wait to dig into them because no matter how many you have, gearheads always want more sockets. Speaking of Harbor Freight, that's going to bring me to my next suggestion, and that is going to be an Inside Track Club membership. So this does all sorts of things. Extra discounts, extra shopping days, early access, but the biggest thing that it does is definitely the discounts. We bought a nice generator this year, and with the Inside Track Club discount and the signing up for the Harbor Freight credit card, we got a killer deal on this 5,000 watt generator that I did an awesome review for. I'll post it up here somewhere if you want to check out it. If you're in the need of a generator, this is a good review. Inside Track Club, if you've got somebody who needs to buy some big tools, this can save them hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. Ask me how I know, because I've spent a lot of money at Harbor Freight. All right, next up is going to be experiences. And this is kind of vague, but if you've got somebody who's into drag racing, go find a track close to you and go out and find an event and take them to it. If you got somebody who wants to be interested in, like, you know, road racing courses, find a road course close to you and go watch the events. Drifting, drag and drives, car shows, anything like that, your gearhead would love to go do something fun with you. I promise. You know how I know? Because I love to go do fun stuff with my person who buys me gifts. Nowadays there are so many ways to find events. Get on Facebook, you could do a Google search, find a racetrack close to you, look at their upcoming schedule, and there's something you can go do. And it'll be a lot of fun, I promise. Next up is going to be consumables. Stuff like PB Blaster, WD-40, spray paints, oils, greases, assembly lubes. If they're into fabricating, grinding, and cutoff discs, I promise you, if you go out into your gearhead's work area, look at what they use, buy them some more of it. They will be grateful. If they're into detailing, buy them some detail stuff that they use. If they're into fabricating, buy them some fabrication consumables. If they're into whatever they're into, there are consumables. And you could never, ever, ever go wrong giving a gift basket full of WD-40, you know, PB Blaster, some spray paint, all that sort of stuff. I promise you, it will go over well. And next up is going to be kind of a fun one, but RC cars. You can get as mild or as wild as you want. If they're into drifting, they make drift ones. If they're into off-roading, they make off-road, you know, Jeep style ones, and everything in between. And the sky is the limit, I promise. But this would be fun because sometimes their car is broken. Maybe they took it apart a long time ago and they're struggling to get it back together. So buying them a remote control Jeep would be a lot of fun. How do I clip this and send this to my wife really quick? Having something that is fun to play with in the driveway, at car shows, at, you know, if they're in the pit and they're waiting on their turn, have a little RC car battle. All that would be a ton of fun. And I'll post some links down below to some that I think look pretty cool from Amazon. Last up is going to be these adorable little mini toolboxes The one on top here, this red one, is from Harbor Freight. It's US General. The one on the bottom is a Cobalt brand. And they're pretty close. I just did a review on them. But if you want to see a more in-depth review, I'll post them up here. How much fun is this for like an office, right? Or a desktop on a workbench. If you've got a Gearhead that works in an office, come on. You know they would love a mini toolbox on their desk for pens and pencils and whatever else. You find these at Harbor Freight. They were $10 on Black Friday. I think they're $18 now. I'll try and find an Amazon link to some. This is probably going to be a Harbor Freight, or Lowe's makes these Cobalt ones. You can find these in the store. Lowe's does have some more color selections, so keep that in mind if you're looking for something not red, blue, or black from Harbor Freight. But they're pretty close, and they're pretty stinking cute. Well, that's going to be it for the last minute gift buying guide. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you bought one of these gifts for somebody, let me know how it goes over. And do what you always do, everybody. Take care of one another, and I will see you next time. Bye.